I've always liked working with composers, with Hans in particular, in a way where you want to free them from the constraints of the picture. You want them to be inspired by it. But I like Hans to be able to write freely and not be trying to hit cuts, not be trying to squeeze things into the tightest edits that we're going to wind up with for certain sequences. I want to kind of hear where his imagination would go, were it completely free to just interpret the ideas of the script. And then based on that, we take that in the edit suite and we start finding interesting points of synchronization between picture and the music he's written. Hans is one of the great masters of finding the sound of things. Not just what the tunes are, not just what the notes are, but how they're played, what the voices are of the thing.
What seemed to work really well in this movie is to turn even more towards electronics. Dark Knight was already pretty heavy on the electronics, but this one somehow pushing that whole thing a little bit further. We took things which were created completely electronically. These ambiences, these atmosphere tracks, and put them in front of the orchestra and said, okay, now I want the orchestra to go and imitate, synthesize electronic sounds. I booked the craziest, biggest brass section I think ever assembled in a studio. 6 bass trombones, 6 tenor trombones, 4 tubas in the middle, and 6 French horns above. The force when they were really blowing, you know, it's a physical force, you know, it hits you. Early on, I had just started writing and I was thinking, you know, I'd love to have one other color in the score, and I was thinking guitars. And then I was thinking, there's a sort of a hideous thing that happens when you have guitars and orchestra. And I was sort of sitting there and playing around with sort of bad sampled guitar sounds, and I started coming up with this little tune, and it was like I knew at that moment who I was writing for.
Okay, so it goes up again then, right?
He said he was going to get somebody like Johnny Marr, was how he said it, you know, with a smile on his face, which of course to me meant that was exactly who we were going to have playing it, which I was excited about from, you know, knowing Johnny Marr's music from the Smiths.
That was quite a good one.
Yeah. He's a bit of a legend. Hans is a sort of minimalist composer with a sort of maximalist production sense. So he'll write these incredibly specific and simple pieces, but the way in which you'll then record that and produce that is on such a colossal scale and with so much movement and drive that there's a point where, particularly in Reels 6 and 7 on everything we've done together, we just let the music take over everything. And make them just turn the music louder and louder and louder, because you realize that the momentum of the film is entirely defined by the structure of the music as the film sort of snowballs towards the end.